What's up, y'all? Alex Thompson here, coming at you with another Sports Talk video today. Gonna do something completely different. I've never done it before. So please just bear with me as I try and do this new 2019 NFL mock draft. So this is gonna be a mock draft for the upcoming NFL season in 2019. Gonna be doing myself and my friend Derek over here, Mr. Derek J. We're going to be talking about kind of what the first round could look like. Also, just kind of giving our input, kind of some things we would like to see as well to go down for some of these teams to get the players that they so choose. But once again, like, free agency is Friday, so there's going to be a lot of these needs by these teams filled. So it's more going to be of, as of right now, maybe in the future, if they don't address these needs, these are some of the guys they could pick, so to speak. So I'm going to get it started. So the first pick of the 2019 season goes to the Arizona Cardinals. And my first pick, Kyler Murray at a University of Oklahoma. I think this pick is going to happen because Cliff Kingsbury coached him in college. He also coached a lot of other quarterbacks. Be a perfect fit. And I think they're going to ship off Josh Rosen to the Patriots for some later picks in the draft. So that's what my first pick is.
All right. I see what you did there. For the first overall pick in my 2019 NFL mock draft, I have the Arizona Cardinals selecting Nick Bosa, defensive end out of Ohio State University. I have them selecting Nick Bosa just because of their need at the defensive line position. That guy is a game changer, and he is a day one starter. I do see where you went on the Kyler Murray just because of the background of the coaches, the apparent need at some situation at the quarterback, and I just think that they went out and got Josh Rosen last year in the first round. And so don't sell him off after 1 year.
Yeah.
So I think they're just going to try to ride it out and bolster their defense. And with Nick Bosa, that's a defense in himself at times.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because my next pick is Nick Bosa, also D lineman of Ohio State University. But I have him going to the Niners because even though they've been picking defensive linemen for the past several years in the draft, they still aren't able to get to the quarterback as much as they need to. It's one of the places they've struggled. They do really well against the run, especially in Solomon Thomas, who they drafted, I believe, 2 years ago. So I think they're really going to need to draft Nick Bosa, and because that's going to make getting to the quarterback a priority because they have a lot of good quarterbacks in their league. Russell Wilson's one of them. Jared Goff is one of them. And then also you have Josh Rosen or, according to this mock draft, Kyler Murray. So gonna be interesting.
Yeah, definitely a lot of upside when it comes to quarterbacks in that division. I do also agree with the need at pass rush. They've drafted defensive line the last 2-3 years, and it just is the same result every time. So that's why I went with Josh Allen, defensive end. Also plays a little bit of outside linebacker from the University of Kentucky. I think Nick Bosa is the ideal pick for them, but in my mock draft, Arizona snagged him with the first overall pick, so therefore they go with the second best defensive player in the draft, and Josh Allen.
I like that. So now this is going to be my third pick. I switched up a little bit. It might be hard in the video to see this, but there is a little star next to the third pick. It usually at this point would belong to the New York Jets, but the Giants here have made a trade. So the Giants get the third pick, the Jets get the sixth pick, and I think they're a second and maybe third rounder or second and fourth rounder for doing that. So I have the Giants moving up in the draft and getting in front of Oakland because they're going to be drafting their future quarterback in Dwayne Haskins, also from the Ohio State University. So I have him going there. They really fit his... they really need a quarterback because Eli Manning is getting old and his rate of play is gone down significantly, especially with all these teams in the NFC East actually getting good now and actually competing in the playoffs. You have the Eagles and also you have the Cowboys who won both their wild card games. So I think this really makes the Giants competitive again with their rookie of the year in Saquon Barkley and their star receiver in Odell Beckham. But I feel like with Dwayne Haskins, he's not going to start in the year. I think he'll start, next year after sitting a year behind Eli, who's beaten the GOAT twice, a.k.a. Tom Brady. And so that's why I think they are going to choose Dwayne Haskins.
I 100% agree with you. I think, first off, I also have the Giants trading up to get that third pick. I have them giving up, like you said, the 6th overall pick. And then I didn't sell them quite so high with the 2nd and 3rd or 2nd and 4th. I chose they would give up their 4th and 5th round pick. Kind of depletes them at the back end of the draft, but definitely worth. If you think you can get your guy at 3, you go with it. And so that's why I also said that the Giants are going to trade up to get Dwayne Haskins out of Ohio State University. I think exactly what you said. Eli Manning has a lot of knowledge, a lot of accomplishments, and a lot of career, but his time is unfortunately ending with the Giants, and with Dwayne Haskins, they can get that next guy up. Like you said, I don't think he's a starter this year. They're going to do an approach like kind of Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, just not to that extent, and see how they can develop. Like you said, Saquon, I think that's a dangerous duo. And then with that receiving
Yeah, Eli's just not is what this era of football is looking at. So
yeah. He has I think he has a lot of mentorship left in him, just not a lot of successful playing time.
Yeah. So that moves me on to number 4, the Oakland Raiders, with their one of 3 first-round picks. They are not going to be drafting a quarterback in the first round, or I think in the draft, because I think, first of all, Dwayne Haskins just got traded, and that's why the Giants wanted to move up, is to snag him before Oakland did. Because I've heard some talks of John Gruden and Derek Carr, like, they want to be together, but, like, there's some tension somewhere. Not really sure where, but there's some tension. But I think they're going to stick with Derek Carr for right now. I mean, he's performed well in the past, so I don't see why they would want to move him when he's done so well for that franchise. So I have them going for Josh Allen, edge or outside linebacker for the University of Kentucky. The reason why I chose this is because they shipped off Khalil Mack to the Bears, and they released Bruce Irvin in the offseason because I just think they fit a system, so now they need to replace that pass rush somehow, some way, and I think Josh Allen is the perfect way to do that, getting one of your most elite rushers of the draft. So
definitely. Josh Allen is a Khalil Mack Jr. in a sense. That's why I had him go really early. But I do agree. The quarterback is not a position they need to address, especially in the first round with Derek Carr. They still got a lot of potential left in him, and kind of seeing where they can build around him. I also have them going defense. John Gruden, even though he depleted his defense, preached all year that he needed, and it's hard to find a pass rusher. So I think getting that stockpile of draft picks, I have them taking Rashawn Gary, defensive lineman out of Michigan. I think with that pick, they solve a lot of problems with their guy, the guy that needs to get to the quarterback. The guy, Rashawn Gary, is a monster coming out of that Michigan defense, and I think no one can fill Khalil Mack's shoes, but I think he can definitely get them in the right direction as far as their defense goes.
I definitely think that Oakland, if they can get Dwayne Haskins, they will, but if not, then I definitely think they're going to go edge rusher or a defensive lineman of some sort. So that brings us to our 5th overall pick right now. We are at Tampa Bay. So there's still a lot of defensive playmakers still out there, and I think that Tampa Bay needs to address some of those defensive needs, because I'm sure they have Gerald McCoy and Levante David, but they still need some other guy to be that guy when those guys might be injured or, something else is pulling their attention. So that's why I have Tampa Bay going off with the number 1 defensive lineman, Quinnen Williams of Alabama. He's been to several championships past couple years, won some of those, so he knows about playing extra games and, playing for something. And I think that this dude can bring a lot of talent, and really him and McCoy can really kind of step up that the middle front for that Tampa Bay defense.
Definitely. I 100% agree with you. I think Tampa Bay has a few areas they need to fill in the early rounds of the draft, but I think defense is their smartest move. And they just went out and got, I believe, in the top 10 last year, Vita Vea out of UW, monster defensive lineman, and I think they go in that same direction to just bolster that front seven in the defense, but especially that front four, and it can just solidify their run defense and defense as a whole. So I also have them taking Quinnen Williams, defensive lineman out of Alabama. Dude's a born winner and a day one starter, and I think that's going to be a really good combo of Vea, McCoy, Quinnen Williams, just a deep rotation.
Mm-hmm. So that moves us to our second part of our trade with the Giants and Jets. So the Jets now have the 6th overall pick. And the Jets, I think, are going to be offensive-minded with this pick. You know, they just got Sam Darnold with the, I believe, 4th or 5th overall pick last year, and I think that they need to get a guy who can protect him, you know, either his blind side or his strong side. You know, make sure you keep your quarterback safe, and that's why I have the Jets taking Jawan Taylor. I think that this may be their pick that they wanted, and they still got the guy 3 picks later. So, you know, more draft picks for them to kind of fill the needs that they needed while still getting the same guy in Florida. So, been playing against big athletes in the SEC there, so you'll know what to do against some of those guys in the AFC East.
Definitely. I agree. They went out and got their guy last year in the top 5, and so now they need to get something to protect him, make sure he's there long term. I think this is exactly what you said. They're going to go get their guy they believe they could have got at 3, but just get better draft capital throughout the draft, develop the back end of their roster with those extra picks, and take advantage of the need that the Giants had. I think they go offensive tackle as well. I have them taking Jonah Williams, tackle out of Alabama. It was a hard pick. It was between Jawan Taylor and Jonah Williams. I just think that's their dude, and that winning mentality and that winning culture that comes from Alabama will really help their team get in the right direction.